All right, friends. So now that we've measured our eyebrow, we are going to gather up our tools to follow along the 5 steps to filling in your perfect ideal brow. So I always like to have a little handheld mirror while I apply my brow so that way I can see nice and close. Okay, so I'm going to use a brow pencil and I'm going to start at the dot on the inner beginning of the brow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to short strokes at the base of the brow. Now at this point, I'm going to go through and I'm going to just sweep off the remaining product from when I measured my brow at the beginning, okay? So I'm going to create soft, short strokes to create the base of my brow. And I'm also following the shape of my brow. If you notice right through here, I have a little bit of excess product that swept down. I'm just going to take my finger and slightly remove it. That way it's all nice and clean, okay? Step 2, I'm going to take my brow pencil. If you have an angled brush that you're using, you want to point the tip of the brush down and we're going to fleck up. So we're filling in the front section of the brow and we're creating small flecks so that they are feather-like strokes. So when you fleck into the brow, you're pressing at the base and you are lightly sweeping out. So it's more like of a C motion, just like that. Okay, like a C motion. So pressing the product into the base of the brow and then sweeping out. These are short flecks, just like that. And we want to go right to the middle part of the brow. So before we get to the arch. Now, we've already decided what type of brow shape we want, so we know if we need the arch to be hard angled or soft angled, or if we want it to not really have an arch. Either way, we want to choose our arch shape and apply it like so. So if we are doing a hard angle, we're going to do that upside down V. If we want it to be soft angled, we're going to do an upside down V, and then I always like to sweep off that base of the V. If we're doing it flat, we're going to completely remove that angle. If it's round, this section of the brow would be curved as well. And if it is S-shaped, the arch you would still define and decide whether you want it hard angled or soft angled or straight. So I'm going to go with soft angled. So I'm going to round out the top part of my arch right through here. And I'm just softly pressing the brow gel into my brow and sweeping down. So just like that, taking my pinky and sweeping to get more of an elongated, flying my product around, to get a little more elongated tail right through here. So now that I know this is where it should end, I'm just going to sweep that line right through there. So you'll notice removing this product and then also right underneath that brow, we're just removing any excess product right through there. Okay. 4th step, we are going to finish filling in right through here, the middle section of the brow and through the arch, just like that. So you can notice already how this creates more dimension and depth on the face so that my cheekbones or whatever type of eyeshadow I want to use will have a little bit more of an enhancement. So providing structure and framing the face. And so we can see that difference, right? Okay, so if we feel like we've added too much, we had a heavy hand, we had too much pressure when we were applying our eyebrows, we take a naked spoolie, step 5, and we just lightly brush through. So we're just lightly combing and brushing out some of that excess product so it appears a little bit softer and lighter around the brow. It diffuses more of those strokes when you place them in so it doesn't feel as harsh. Remember, always using your pinky and just kind of pressing to kind of help shape and clean up around the brow. Just like that. Now we're going to repeat the step on the other eye. This time I'm going to use a brow powder and a brush. Okay, so let's say you have a section of your brow missing and we need to use a wax. So These particular colors right here are waxes. And so you can either place these on after to help groom the hair in the direction you want it to go and give it hold. Or if you have a missing section of the brow, you can apply it first and then the powder on top so that you can get hold to that product, okay? So I'm going to go in, and remember, we are going to sweep soft short strokes at the base of the brow. And let's say you get some down through here. Remember, take that finger and just slightly sweep it off, okay? Try not to get too frustrated. I know it can be, but try not to get too frustrated when your brows, when you're filling them in and you feel like they're not getting the product where you want it. Okay, so we're creating that base, and then now on this tail, I need a little bit more elongation around there. So since this is a powder, it's not really going to adhere to my skin. So I want to use the wax first, and I'm going to softly take it and lay it on the tail and sweep down and to the side. Take a little bit of brow powder and lay that on top. Okay, just like so. So you'll notice it's a little bit fuller right through here. Again, take your pinky and really soften around that brow. And just lightly pulls that product down to get it into a nice point, okay? So step 2 again, we are going to take the tip of your brow brush and we are going to point it down, and we are going to lay it right at the base of the brow and fleck up. The difference in powder and a pencil is the powder has more of a flat finish, while the pencil tends to have more of a shiny or gel-like finish. So powders are a little bit softer, a little more flat. They kind of lean back when it comes to the finish on the face, and then the brow pencils that have a little bit more shine kind of give a little bit more punch, kind of stick out a little bit more. Hopefully that makes sense. Step 3, we are going to create our arch. And remember, we want our brows to be in the same family. They do not need to be twins. They can be sisters, they can be cousins, but we don't want them to be neighbors. So we do want them to appear similar, but they do not have to look exactly the same. So now that we have that arch created, we're going to fill in right through here. I always like to start kind of at the beginning sometimes, lightly going in, just to get a little bit more softness as I blend out. It's basically just to get my hand in that motion versus starting right where I need it and pressing all that product in at one time. This kind of helps give me a little bit more momentum as I'm filling in the brow. Okay, so step 5, we're gonna go back through with that naked spoolie, and we're just gonna softly press up and blend into the brow. So you'll notice, so with this powder, you'll notice a little bit more depth right through here at the base of the brow. What I'm gonna do is go back through, take my brush, and with the brush flat, I'm gonna lightly press and add more depth into the base of the brow, flecking up. Go back through and very lightly. We don't want a ton of product in there. We just want to kind of fill in where some of those gaps were. So now that we've got that brushed in, all right. So now we can kind of see the difference between a powder, a little more flat, and a pencil. Something that has a little bit more gel, more cream to it. It gives it a little bit more of that kind of iridescent, not iridescent because it's more not glittery either, but it's more shiny, right? So it gives a little more glow. That's the right word. Okay, so now if we want to use a gel and we want the brow hair to be going in the direction that we want it to. We want to be using a mascara wand gel. Okay, so these products can come in clear, they can come in blonde, taupes, grays, dark. They can come in medium tans. They come in all different types of colors from different brands. They can have smaller mascara wands. They can have these longer ones through here too. This is I always say her name wrong, Anastasia. I think that's how it goes. And this is a clear one. So this, I'm just lightly brushing, almost like a short, small tapping motions on the brow hair so that I am pushing them up. I want them to groom up. I like that soft feathered finish. When you push the brow hair over, what happens is it gets kind of clumpy and full in this middle section of the brow, and it can make it appear really heavy and very dense. So by brushing the hair up, it's going to help soften the hair. Also with the gel, it's going to allow that hair to last all day in that direction. So it's always going to be there. It's not going to become unruly and kind of go back where you don't want it, right? All right, friends, what do we think? We have our framed brows. They create structure. You can see the dimension in the face. It gives it a little bit more of that softer contour so that now you can see my cheekbones, you can see my eyelid, all the space that I've got there, right? All right, make sure if you have any questions that you place them in the comment box below and I will get those answered as well.